We've all heard or seen headlines about artificial intelligence and how it's impacting universities and university students and increasing rampant cheating. Or we've maybe seen headlines about high schools and how they're banning smartphone use within the school. We can often see these headlines that are caught or trying to catch our attention, and they often make technology seem like a threat to education. But what I want to do is I want to give you a little bit more of a nuanced approach and look at the pros and the cons of technology and how it impacts education. And so my name is Philip Shields, and I'm a fourth year EBC student. And I want to just go a little bit deeper into each of the issues and then some of the benefits. And so first, of course, we're going to look at digital distractions. And this, of course, is very easy to see. You walk into a class and you see students playing on their tablets or playing on their phone or checking their phone after they hear a message. And this can obviously be a distraction for the students as well as for their classmates. And the thing is, we can ban it within the school, but the problem is that the issue is bigger than that because students are using technology outside of the school. And the problem is that as we use TikTok and as we use Instagram and we watch 15-second videos and we swipe past anytime they're not interesting, we rewire our brain because what we're doing is we're giving our brain dopamine each time we find something somewhat interesting, somewhat unique. But the effect of this is that we end up creating a problem. We lose our attention span. We want things quick. We want exciting and new constantly. But the problem, of course, is that classrooms are typically an hour or 2 hours long, and teachers simply cannot give new content every 15 seconds in an exciting and fun way. So what this ends up doing is students often find class boring and they lose interest, and it's hard for them to pay attention. And so the issue is that as we continue to use technology, it becomes harder to sit in a traditional classroom setting and learn. And so this is a very real challenge, and one that I think every teacher has seen. The other issue, and this is no less common, is cheating and plagiarism. And of course, now with AI technology, AI generators such as ChatGPT or Google Gemini, how much has it become even more popular, more of a threat? The thing is that now students can take their assignment, turn it into a prompt, and get a final result that they can turn in. But the problem with this, of course, is that they're not engaging the content and they're not learning the material. And so obviously it hurts their learning process. And so in this way, AI is a negative. The other thing is that AI generators copy material from many sources, and they will not give you the source of the content. And so you cannot cite your sources if you copy from AI generators in most cases. The other thing is students can now plagiarize other content and throw it in AI generators or other word editing tools that will rewrite the sentence and restructure it in such a way that most traditional plagiarism checking software will not catch, and they can pass it off as their own. And so in this way, students are able to cheat and able to get out of doing their own work much easier. And this is, again, a very serious concern within schools. Another thing is just our over-reliance on technology. You know, when we use technology too much, we lose our creativity. Because, again, as I was talking about the brain, we rewire our brain and we lose that creativity. When we're always going to AI generators for a generated email or for a poem for a friend or whatever it is we're generating, if we do this all the time, if we never use our brainstorming skills, or we never engage our creativity skills, we will lose them, because creativity is not some God-given gift. Creativity is a skill, and it needs to be nurtured, and it needs to be trained. And so we need to develop a way to know when to use technology and when not to, because we do not want to lose our creativity and our ability to actually think on our own. Another thing, and this is somewhat unrelated, but I will connect it, is cyberbullying. Now, cyberbullying affects many people, but students are at particular risk because as younger people, they're more influenced by bullies. And also the environment does lead to more bullying. The other thing is, as students are bullied, that will affect their education and the way they feel around the school and their just overall well-being. And obviously this is an impact for teachers and the students' education. And so this is something that teachers have to think about. And so this is why I'm including it, because while not directly related, it is something that is part of education. Lastly, I want to talk about the slow adoption in teaching methods. Teachers have often been slow to know how to use new technology in meaningful ways, in ways that really engage the student, in ways that help the student really learn in a new or interactive way. We often see now classrooms getting smart boards or lots of different touch-sensitive applications, or some schools have given iPads to every student. But oftentimes there's a disconnect between the technology that's used or purchased for the classroom and the way that that technology actually benefits education. But I don't want to just focus on the negatives. I don't want to have a fatalistic view of sorts. I want to take a switch now and look at some of the positives. And there are many positives in terms of how technology has positively impacted education. And so first, I want to look at greater access to education. Every one of us has gone to YouTube and we've typed in how to cook this certain dish, or how to edit a photo to make it black and white, or how to play piano, or where do you find such and such guitar string. And there's oftentimes very good content online, very well written, well edited content that's free. And so this access is never been had before by any previous generation. There's another thing, massive online or open online courses, MOOCs. And these allow hundreds, if not thousands of students to join the same class and learn. Oftentimes they're asynchronous, which means students learn at their own pace, start and finish at their own time. But it allows students to take quizzes, take tests, and really make sure they're understanding the material. And students are able to learn for free or for a fraction of the cost that they would typically pay for the traditional education, allowing many students who wouldn't otherwise be able to afford education to receive it. The thing is, innovative teaching tools, game-based learning is huge. If you want to learn programming, you can learn programming now using a retro game. And they teach you one line of code at a time, and you learn how to develop the code to build a more interactive and more enjoyable game. And because of this, it draws you to want to keep learning and keep learning. The other thing is there's Duolingo, where you're given achievements when you unlock 500 words or you unlock 1,000 words. You can also connect with friends and compete with them. You can get streaks for staying and being active for a certain number of days. And so all of these things are used to engage students to want to learn more. The other thing is you can get increased efficiency. With Duolingo, it's able to remember which words you're not very strong in, which words you struggle remembering, and it's able to bring those up more often to help you. So it's using personalized learning to help each individual student learn better. In online courses, we've seen with COVID, where everybody had to move online. And universities who otherwise would have had to have shut down were able to manage their courses through Teams or through Zoom. And so they were able to continue teaching when they otherwise wouldn't have been able to. And so we find a lot more ways to teach than just the traditional methods. And so there's very innovative teaching tools. And while COVID had a lot of bumps in terms of education, a lot of that was largely due to it being unfamiliar to the students and unfamiliar to the teachers. The other thing is, and this is connected, is collaborative communication. For myself, I get put in a group with 3 other students, and we make a Facebook Messenger group, and we're chatting in there and able to communicate using technology. We will then set a time and do a video call, so we don't need to all drive and spend time commuting to a certain place. We can do it from the comfort of our room and connect and discuss what we're going to do for our project. So we use technology as a communicative and collaborative effort, and it helps us build team working skills in an online environment. The other thing, and the last thing that I want to talk about is, and technology is everywhere around us. And it's important that we prepare students for the digital world. And so I think students can be benefited in the school if teachers will use technology as a way to teach students, and that technology would be at the forefront for teachers, that it would be not something that is feared, but it would be something that would be taught, that digital literacy skills would be taught, that the essentials would be taught for future careers. Because the fact is, when students graduate, they're going to get a job, and whether they get a job as a secretary or whether they get a job as working in a business, they're going to have to learn to be able to generate email responses. They're going to have to learn how to use Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word. And so they need to be able to build basic literacy skills using technology. And the other thing is, technology is a tool. Whether they're using Instagram or whether they're using other social media, they need to be aware of the privacy concerns, online bullying risks, scams, as well as how to use technology for benefits, such as Zooming friends across the world, or nowadays with payments and all these different things we use technology for. The thing is that schools should be teaching students how to interact with technology in a safe and responsible way. That we will be able to know when to go and generate an email response and when to handwrite a personalized letter to our favorite singer. That we learn to discern when to generate content and when to use our own creativity. And so I think schools and education institutes need to adapt. They need to incorporate technology into their curriculum. Teachers need to focus on teaching digital literacy skills and foster critical thinking. That students can look at generated content, know which parts are useful and which parts to toss out or regenerate or edit and customize. We don't want students to just copy and paste. We want students to engage, even if they're using AI content, that they would engage with the content and make it their own. Technology is not going to undo education. But education needs to adapt and stay current with the evolving technology that's around us. It needs to be preparing students for the digital world that they're going to enter and that they're already in. The thing is that technology is having a massive impact on education, both positive and negative. But I think schools can play a role in heightening and helping students really get the most benefit out of education while minimizing the negative impacts that technology has. And so I'm hoping that the two will be able to work together and help students learn and be ready for the future. Thank you.